Welcome to the dopest live stream that's something like a podcast, something like a newscast, and sometimes like a showcase. Khary's crib, Khary's crib, Khary's crib, Khary's crib.
Yo, it's another news day. I feel good, I'm on top like a kufe. Sipping my coffee, shaking my head for homies acting goofy. Guess they do it for the gram or the TikTok, so who's me? Welcome to the crib, let's kick it like Bruce Lee. Part intelligent, part ratchet, that's half Neil deGrasse, you half Boosie. Listen, man. Real spit, now that's lit, homie, truthfully. If you in the Tampa area, you should be down like Bruce B. We treat the pod like sex, we start slow into full speed. You like the way we work it? 9 p.m. we going in, we podding perfect. Bees and Tachi is my posse. No worries because I know my posse got me. Be careful, we might snap like paparazzi. But yo, let's start the show and get it lit like sipping hot toddy. What's good in 10 pretty people? Friday evening, my name is Khary. This is my crib. And I invite you into my home for another evening of the dopest live stream. That's something like a podcast, something like a newscast, and every now and then like a showcase. We have another dope show for you tonight. 31 members of a White Nationalist group was arrested in Idaho in the back of a U-Haul truck for being racist. We'll talk about it. Lizzo decided to change a lyric after some backlash. And her change got me a little learned. You might get a little learned as well. We'll get into it. Podcasts. I'm a podcaster. Some of y'all are podcasters. Is it as easy as it looks? We'll get into this, that, and a bunch more. I'm joined by the homie Bees Buddha, the beautiful Tati. What's up to all the house guests in the chat? Everybody watching, podcast listeners listening. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe if you're not already. Share this with your peoples. We're going to have some fun tonight. Phone lines are open, 813-559-3339. Hit us up, let us know your thoughts. If you're shy, jump in the live chat. See you out there. What up, Shell? What up, Wayne? What up, everybody in the chat? What up, Sean? How's everybody doing? It's gonna be a good show tonight, y'all. It's gonna be a good show tonight. You know, we on episode 172, yo. We are running through these shits. We're gonna be on 200 in probably about another couple months, yo.
Big minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, another couple months. But how's y'all weekend been? How's y'all weekend been?
Go ahead, Bees.
All right. My weekend's been cool.
Got you. Get anything fun? Anything interesting?
Man,
Same old. Got you.
Same old.
How was your weekend, Tati?
My weekend was cool. I pretty much chilled in the house. It was kind of rainy this weekend.
It was.
Yeah.
The sun did come out on Sunday, and I got my ass in the pool. You know, but my daughter is actually in town this week. You know, she stopped by the other day. She flew out here. She's gonna be driving back with her brother and her boyfriend.
Yeah.
But she's gonna be driving back. Yeah. You know, so that should be nerve-wracking for me. But I'm gonna try to do something with her before she heads out. She's supposed to be leaving on Saturday, so I got a couple of days to get up with her and do something fun with me, her, and her brother. You know, my son took his graduation photos today.
Oh yeah.
Though he graduates next year. These are photos for next year. But he went and took those today.
Yeah, why did they do that?
What's that?
Why is that done now instead of?
I guess just so they got a head start. It's probably a lot of work, you know, because you got those pictures for the yearbook. So they probably want to have the pictures ready for the beginning of the year when, I guess, the yearbook squad comes and does what they want to do. But they came out cool. I looked at them. They came out cool. I still say he needs to learn how to smile. You know how young kids smile. They don't show their teeth. They just be like, you know, just all lips and just looking like a clown sometimes. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
I don't get it.
I remember being a kid and smiling like that. You know, never showing my teeth because I didn't know how to smile. So I get it. He'll figure it out.
Not me.
You was always teeth, huh? Yeah. Bees, Bees, that's exactly how his photo looked from like kindergarten.
Facts.
Bees had the super cheese. Let's look at the
Happen
chat.
to be alive.
Look at the chat.
You know?
Wayne said he stayed in the house because it was over 100. It was over 100 degrees in ATL.
Oh my.
He said, I work outside, so I ain't dealing with that heat if I ain't got to.
I'm not.
I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad at you, you know? It do get kind of hot in ATL, and they a landlocked state too. Or city, I should say.
Yo, they don't even get no wind chill or nothing. None of that. They need some wind chill or something.
It was hot. It was just hot.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. That's why they need some wind chill or something like.
Something to cool their ass off, but it be hot like that out here as well. That's why I got in the pool. And I personally felt like the pool, the temperature of the pool was almost the same temperature as outside, just a slightly cooler. Enough so you don't feel like you're getting burned by the sun. Nah, but it was a cool weekend. I'm not sure what I'm going to do this weekend. The Father's Day weekend is coming up.
And it's Juneteenth.
This weekend.
Yeah, Father's Day weekend's this weekend, and it's Juneteenth this weekend.
Y'all not grilling for Juneteenth? Supposed to be creating new traditions.
New traditions? The new tradition is grilling for Juneteenth?
I mean,
shoot, we gotta get a hold of the old ones.
Huh?
We gotta get a hold of some of the old ones. Shoot.
That's what I'm saying.
New ones. Gotta get a hold of some of the old ones. Memorial Day. Yo, let me tell you, yo. This new generation pissed me off, yo. Not a cookout in sight.
Yo, not at all.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Not at all.
I've been grilling a lot lately, just for dinner. So, you know, Memorial Day, I don't think I grilled. I went to
I get it, but Memorial Day, like that's the kickoff, the everything. You supposed to grill. You supposed to have something.
You right.
Yeah, Memorial is kickoff together, for the
like
summer.
Yo, the summer. The summer about to start.
Summer.
Like you supposed to get that going.
You know,
it's true.
Nothing.
Yeah,
we do have to do better with our tradition.
That we do.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. We can't listen. You can't start You start new ones and they ain't even got a grasp for the old ones.
That is true. I love me a good cookout. I love to whoop some ass in spades. Shit.
I haven't played spades in a minute myself. You know.
You know what it is? The playlists would probably be crazy at a new cookout.
Yeah, playlist would be crazy.
The playlist is all TikTok songs with new songs mixed with old songs and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
That shit be
pissing. You ain't gonna get no Frankie Beverly. You know Frankie Beverly at the cookout. You know.
That's the problem. See, that's
the
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's a song. Some dude has a song where he uses he samples Mary J. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
Every time they come on, I'm so excited because I think it's Mary, and then he started that bullshit, started to be some drill shit. It's like, okay, just turn this shit off. Turn it off.
Yeah, I know what you talk about. Yo, Tati,
I can't get jiggy with it.
There's a song, what you call it? It's the song, Deja Vu. By Lord Tariq and Peter Guns. Uptown baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here in New York, right? Mm-hmm. They got like you hear the horns, it be like bam, 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 bam. Yo, and I be looking for New York to the up, got all for all. I be looking for that, right? But you in New York, right?
What you hear?
That doesn't come on. You hear boom, 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 boom. Dum, 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 dum. Spanish music come on after that.
I got your ass.
And get me all the time, yo.
Spanish motherfucking DJs in New York will motherfucking mix some shit up. They will mix some music up and you would be like, what is going on? Why is this a Spanish version of whatever song is popping right now, but it's not the artist?
That is true.
Word.
That's like romping shot. And you think you're gonna hear Neo?
Mm-hmm.
Next thing you know, you hear Vibes Cartel.
Man. Yo, so what's everybody sipping on out there tonight? You know, I'm still trying to be classy. I'm still trying to be classy with my. This is not water, by the way. This is wine. You know, Jesus.
How was that
through.
Sauvignon Blanc treating you?
Jesus came through and turned this water into wine, baby. You know, and it is the Sauvignon Blanc. It is the Sauvignon Blanc. You know, and it's not bad. It's not bad. You know? Let's see.
I told you.
Hey, Wayne. Hey, Miss Cheryl, Kimmy. Yeah, I thought that was green apple, but apparently it's pear.
You thought it was green apple? Why? Because the bottle's green?
Yeah, and there's a wine that I like. It's like a sparkling green apple.
But you know what though? You know what making me a little mad about this though? You mentioned it earlier, but I'm looking at it. I'm just like, you know, this is confusing to me. Because I bought a bottle of this wine from the same company the past couple of days. Mm-hmm. And all of them had corks that you had to pull the cork out. Same brand, different flavor of wine. This one got a fucking screw cap.
I told you, my mom told me it might be a cheaper version. I mean, those bottles of wine are pretty cheap, period. But
yeah, it's an everyday wine.
They're cheap, period. But like,
that's what it is. It probably goes so fast. It's not aged.
Yeah,
they didn't age that shit.
Ain't no need to put no cork on that shit.
Like, we ran out of corks.
You better screw that top back on like you do your Pepsi.
Yo, listen. Khary trying to be over there inhaling the cork.
Right, shit.
Yeah, man. You know, I've watched TV. I've seen movies where they kind of demonstrated how you're supposed to wine taste and smell the fragrance of the wine, you know, and roll it around the glass, you know. And do you know why? Do you know why you're supposed to hold the wine glass by the stem? I've learned this from watching TV as well. Because your hand will warm up the wine. So you hold it by the stem so your hand doesn't add temperature to the glass to warm up the wine. That's how you're supposed to hold it. That's how you're supposed to hold it. But my ass just be grabbing the glass.
I thought it was for smudges.
You know? I be trying to be fancy.
Khary definitely be having hella smudges on his glass.
Let's see. She said I'd be having hella smudges. Yeah, I don't usually hold it like this, you know. Though I should. I should take my own advice that I've learned from television and shit like that.
I'm laughing at that, yo. Not the smudges.
No facts, cause
the fingerprints and shit.
I see smudges and I am not drinking out the cup. Sorry.
Look at Miss Bougie over here.
I'm not, even if it's from my hand, like, I'm not drinking out of it. I'm gonna go get another one. All right, boom.
Wayne Mills threw a little tidbit in the chat. He says, "Yo, Khary, they not cork scoring wine anymore."
Oh, really?
LOL. It goes too fast for them to get it. Which makes sense. You know, because I was in the store and they had all types of different wines, and then they had the all types of sections of different wines. And hey, what you about to do? Oh, I don't know. Thought she was gonna clean out that glass and get rid of some wine. About to say, bring that wine over here. What was I saying? Oh, they had all different sections, right? Then they had the everyday wine section. I said, well, let me go on over to the everyday wine because it's an everyday, you know, and I'm going to drink some of this wine over here that's on the cheap side. You know, if I'm going to drink a bottle in a night, I ain't trying to spend a whole lot of money on that shit. You know what I'm saying? I can't see myself spending $60, $70 on a bottle of wine to drink tonight. But then again, do that with fucking Hennessy. You know, spend $50 on a fucking bottle, should be going the same damn night. You know, but I'm gonna go off on a fucking tangent. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into this, biatch. Start this off, man. 31 white nationalists were arrested in a U-Haul truck in Idaho because they ass said, you know what? We gonna go start a riot at the gay parade. So hey, let's jump in the back of a U-Haul. 31 of us. Throw on some ski masks, like we're the new age rappers, and go cause some havoc. You know,
this sounds.
It sounds what? It sounds very
Sounds very close.
That sounds very white.
To Django.
Aha!
And then motherfuckers was like, I can't see out of my sack. He said, you ungrateful sons of bitches.
You're right. You're right.
This is wild. It really is.
Go ahead, Beast.
I don't know. Let's get more in depth into it, or do we have to just go?
You want to get in depth tonight? Let me read some details on what happened.
Yeah.
All right. So, the Idaho police also said they received death threats because of this arrest. White people be.
You said the police received death threats?
The police received death threats since arresting 31. 31 of these men affiliated with National. The Patriot Front was the name of the group. Let's see.
Not the Patriot Front.
Yeah, that was the name, the Patriot Front.
The Patriot Front, they threatening the police. Get the fuck. Y'all be so confused, bro.
Lost.
Y'all be so fucking confused.
Man, so some of them apparently have been bailed out of jail. A bunch of their names have been released. So all 31 members of a white nationalist group arrested on suspicion of conspiring to riot during a pride event, they actually bonded out of jail. You know, let me see how. I wonder how they was caught. I
know why they was caught, but
how they got caught.
You think it was a tip? Huh?
Huh?
I say you think it was a tip?
Let's not use all those words in this situation. But
well, I've been watching too much Blacklist. You think somebody called in a tip on their ass? I don't know, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. But,
yes, but actually, I'm sorry to cut you off, Bees. It was a tip. So the 31 Patriot Front members were arrested with riot gear after a tipster reported seeing people loading up into a U-Haul like a little army at a hotel parking lot in Idaho.
See, y'all doing too, and y'all in Idaho. They doing too much. Like we weren't gonna be suspicious about 31 niggas getting in the damn.
Yeah, they saw 31
not
of them
niggas,
excuse
me, white people with the same outfit on.
And the tipster, and what did the tipster do? I need the tipster call the police and say, "Yo, I see these guys. I don't know what they doing, but they
sounds
look like they up to no good."
Yeah.
Or was it, they going to the Pride Parade?
Well, they had riot gear. Well, they probably didn't know. They probably didn't know where they was going, or they might have assumed they might have been going to the Pride Parade, but they just saw 31 motherfuckers getting into the back of a U-Haul truck.
And that's suspicious within itself.
And riot gear?
Y'all got riot gear?
31 motherfuckers.
And you get in a U-Haul truck?
Yeah.
That lets me know this is such an unorganized movement. Like, what the fuck are y'all to call the police?
Listen. All right. I need y'all to understand. I'm gonna need, if you watch our show, I ain't trying to promote nothing, but I need everybody to get a chance and watch Rampage.
Rampage?
I've seen it before.
Yeah,
I've seen it before.
Yo, because this is what's going down. It's a story of dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they ain't doing all the other. He did some wild shit in there, but majority of this shit is like shit he was talking about.
Mm-hmm. This is just crazy. I mean, we're seeing more and more of this, and what was the other story the other day where they were saying the police? What was it?
What's that?
Police. Oh, they weren't coming out because gas was too high?
Oh, yeah, that was in Michigan.
We see shit like this, like white people this isn't the first instance within the last few weeks where white people have kind of rallied together and said that they want to go and
kill people.
Yes. You know what's bad?
Literally. And have been doing
it. Is that people actually want to do this shit. Like, you got
Mm-hmm.
a whole group of people that just want to do this shit, and that shit is horrible. Like, it's different when it's like one or two. I mean, even though it shouldn't be none, but you know, it's different. Now you got a group, so you know they multiply. That multiplies. It's just like everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So here goes a photo of the bust with at least 6 photos of some of the racists that was in there. But if you let me see if I can zoom in on this. If you look closely, you can actually see them packed into the back of a U-Haul. But it looked like they had weapons as well. So it looked like they was trying to cause some motherfucking terror. And they got caught. So they say some people speculate they was gonna shoot the shit up. Some people say they was just gonna wild the fuck out. 31 of them. I don't know. You think 31? You think they would have went out? You think they would have done a mass shooting?
Due to the fact of the riot gear, yeah, because they you know what I'm saying, they shooting up like.
Now, if they
ready for some bullshit,
right? They kind of had riot gear. Some say they had weapons. They was masked up, sunglasses, masks over the face. 31 of them. I want to know which one is going to talk and actually reveal their actual plan. I'm curious to see that, but I'm also curious to see if they'll actually release details about what their actual plan was. They're going to get it. White people are talking. These are white nationalists. They're going to talk to the white police. This is what we was trying to do. You like it, right? And they were like, you know what? If I wasn't the cop, I'd be with y'all. You know, I'm just saying.
Now, but this is probably be like, how can I join?
Yeah. You know? If y'all would have let me join, I would have gave y'all a better idea.
Goodbye.
You know, that's I'm speaking from the perspective of the police that arrested them.
But you know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy though?
What's that?
I feel like there are black groups like that. I feel like there are Russian groups. I feel like there are Asian groups like that.
Nah, I don't think so.
You don't think so? What? There are what groups?
You think it's just?
Huh?
You think it's just these nationalists?
I don't think there's.
Wait.
I don't think there's black hate groups that are trying to figure out where can we go cause havoc. Where can we go cause terror? Because this is what they was pretty much trying to do. They was trying to be terrorists, in my opinion. You know?
I mean, I feel what you're saying sometimes, but then I'll be looking at gangs like.
Yeah, gangs ain't going out trying to cause terror. They get into beef with other gangs. They don't just go out and say, you know what, we're just gonna go shoot up this fucking place just because we don't like gay people.
I wouldn't say personally that there are no black hate groups just because we don't know for sure. But I think it's unfortunate either way, like groups of people rallying together to go do harm to any group of people, honestly. Like, nobody
know what's
deserves
so
that.
crazy about like most of the black nationalist groups? There'll always be one of them married, like the leader be married to a white woman.
Always. Always pro-black as hell, and see, I don't even want to say it like that because me personally, I would like to say that I'm pro-black, but I'm not a stickler for interracial dating, right? I'm not one of those people like, oh, why he got a white woman? I'm not one of those. Mm-hmm. But I don't anyway, let's just say I feel like I'm not a stickler for it, but at the same time, like it is usually those situations. Like I'm not mad, but it's like, well, damn, what about which was pretty like, what's his name? Dr. Umar. They saw him buying crystals from a white lady and people was in outrage. Now, I'm not going to cap. That was a little fishy. Because why are you buying crystals if you so pro-black? Why are you buying crystals and herbs and shit from white people?
Well, he said he was in the mall. He said he was buying incense. He said he was buying incense.
Understood.
And
he said incense and crystals. But again,
because he's in the mall. I would say he's in the mall.
Yeah, but if you're okay, so that type of stuff. Personally, I don't buy crystals and sage and shit from white people.
Right, but you buy hamburger
meat. So you gotta buy it from the brother Mandingo?
Say what now?
You gotta buy your crystals, your incense from the brother Mandingo or
I get my
sister
shit.
Kalinka?
Right, I get my shit from somebody that I trust because it's also an energy thing. And for me, with my spirituality, white people don't fall in line with that. So no, I'm not buying sage and crystals from white people. But I only pointed it out because he is so pro-black that but knowing the history of that type of stuff, the fact that you're buying it from a white lady is wild. So I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, well, damn, what is he doing with the white lady? I just thought it was funny because you preach all day about it.
Yeah, I feel you, but I also say it. I also look at it on the lines as he was in a mall.
But
and
you're not getting what I'm saying.
No. Let me finish. He was in a mall. He was doing commerce. He buys his food from a store like Publix ran by white people. His money's probably in a white bank. He probably does business with white companies all day, buying gas, white companies, all of these things are white companies. And he just in the mall saw something he wanted and got it.
You're not, but what I'm saying is, so my point is,
I hear your point.
When you look at it, it's about spirituality, it's about energy, it's about intention. So when you're conscious of that type of thing, or those type of things, like he is, it is for the people that's into spirituality. It is weird that you're buying it from a white lady. Because again, like I said, if you ask any of your spiritual black friends,
I get what you're saying.
They're not buying, and it's even worse to be buying in a damn mall.
I get what you're saying.
So that's all I'm trying to point out.
But I get what you're saying. I didn't see him say crystals. All I saw him say was he bought incense. And I just look at incense as that's a fucking regular thing.
Okay.
Now, if it was sage or some crystals or some shit, then I can see, energy. I don't look at energy with incense. I look at that as just like buying a scented candle.
Okay.
I look at incense as that's how you hide you smoking weed from your neighbors.
Yo, quiet as kept. I feel like that's how you let niggas know you smoking weed.
Right.
Incense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay. Growing up,
use incense, but it's not for either.
Okay, check it out. Growing up in the 90s in New York, you would walk out.
Shit, the 80s too.
Yeah, the 80s. But I'm saying the 90s because I was outside mostly in the 90s. I remember the 80s being outside, but now I wasn't outside in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? In the 90s, I was outside. And you would get off the elevator. You'd be like, oh, this floor smells like fried chicken. You get off another floor. Oh, this floor smells like fried fish. You get off another floor. Oh, this floor smells like somebody smokes weed because all I smell is incense. That's it. And you usually knew the person whose floor smelled like incense. Yeah, always had incense smell.
Yo, before you even get to the door,
the elevator opened up, and that shit just come in the elevator like, "Hey, how you doing? Look at me."
That's funny.
The incense, yeah. But nah, I don't really think there's black hate groups in the same vein as white hate groups, because I don't think black people are going around saying, "Oh, white people are gonna wipe us out just by having sex." That's why these white nationalists are scared, because it's like these black people, all they gotta do is bust nuts, and eventually we're gonna be gone. We ain't even got to kill nobody. All we got to do is bust nuts. And that's why they hate.
What's crazy is I don't even think that all white people are really doing it for that reason. Like, I feel like they is really from a hate standpoint. I think further up the line. Taught, though. Yeah, I think further up the line, it definitely started with that. Like, oh, if they keep procreating, but at the same time, I think these groups of people, they're not doing it because they scared they're going to get wiped out, their genetics. Them motherfuckers probably ain't even paying attention to that type of shit. They just don't like these groups of people. And this wasn't even black. This was pride. They just don't like they just don't like gay people. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even feel like they were doing this particular situation. They weren't doing it for that reason. Like, I just think they were doing it because they don't like gay people. Kind of how when you go to Ybor and you see,
you know why? You want to know something though? But you know why? Like the LG, that community,
the feds.
Y'all know what I'm trying to say. The LGBT.
Yeah, the feds.
You know why that community is also like
FBI, alphabet boys, alphabet people.
Like protected, because while that particular group is fed, is because there's no racial boundary in that shit. When you really look
there is
a racial boundary.
You saying like there's racist gay white men?
Yes, there are definitely racist gay white people.
I mean, those that are trying to hide it, but I don't think that like outright.
No, there'd be outright gay racist white people. Yeah.
Okay, well, I've never ran into that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never ran into that. But I think
you know what I'm saying? Like universal, like that's why it's the rainbow. Like it's more to that rainbow shit than you know what I'm saying?
I think what he's trying to say is that within that community, you can't be racist because there are so many different
That's
types.
What you would think. That's what you would think.
No, we're not saying we're not talking about racist. What he's saying is that it's hard to kind of be that way to the LGBT community because there's so many different types of people. There's white people, black people, Asian. It's so many. It's a melting pot of people. That's what he's saying.
People, and then you got interracial dating within that too. Like, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, so it's it's hard. Well, it's hard for me, and like I said, I've never seen it or experienced like one gay guy telling another gay guy like, "Yo, get out of here, nigga." You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I've never seen like that type of what you call it. And I'm in New York.
I've seen racist gay people.
Okay.
It's a thing, because gender and race, even though because we're black, we think, hey, you would understand our struggle, but no, there's still racist white gay people, just like there's poor people, poor white trash that will still say they're better than rich black people. You would think, hey, they understand being poor, so they might understand my struggle. No, I'm white, you're black. I don't care if you're poor just like me. I'm better than you. And that's gonna go amongst all spectrums of types of white people. Not all white people, but racism is taught. So the same way they can try to teach a gay person not to be gay, they also taught them to be racist. Not all of them, but the racist ones.
I think, is it possible? Yes. I don't think there is a big number of racist gay people. And I only say that because to accept, first of all, to be a part of the community, and I mean somebody that's a part of the community, not just somebody that's gay. Somebody that's a part of the community and they put on for, you know what I'm saying? So I think to be gay and to be a part of the community, is to know acceptance and to understand that type of situation. So you're not really looking at, because you've been treated bad, or the fear about being gay or different or whatever is that you won't be accepted. So to be a part of the community, you have to understand acceptance. That's something that they fear. I don't feel like, I only say that because I feel like it's more of a, we're trying to show the world we're just like you. We like what we like. And that's different for you, cool. So you're just asking pretty much the same basis as any other group of people, like, just accept me as a person and respect me as a person at the end of the day. So I only say I don't think that is big numbers, because if you're trying to be accepted as a person, you can't really hate another person for their skin color. That's why I say I've never seen it. I'm sure it's possible, but I don't think it's a big number. Yeah. Because they're trying to be accepted as people. Yeah. That's pretty much, I don't know.
I can't, like that shit is so hard for me to because it's just like that particular situation is like, most people hide it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, back in the days, most people hid it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But then for you to be racist and then, like, that's an oxymoron, truly.
Yeah, because they go against each other. Because you know what I'm saying? I don't know. That's why I say I feel like it's possible. I just don't think that it's a large number of races.
Yeah, I don't think it's large numbers. And if it is, that person is just trying to get in the community to find out things, to do some evil shit. Deadass. That's the only thing I can see with that, because that's some other shit.
I feel like they just confused.
Gotcha. You know what? I think we should come back to this topic one day, and when we actually have a guest that can speak from their experiences within that community. I think that would be an interesting conversation to have, I
think that would be dope.
Yeah, I do. But let's go ahead and move on. Let's get up out of that and get into this. Lizzo has changed some lyrics, a lyric to one of her songs that she recently released, and she changed it because she received backlash from one of the lyrics. Me personally, when I saw this, I didn't even know this was considered a offensive term. But apparently it is. What she said in the song was spaz. She said, "Hold my bag, bitch. Hold my bag. Do you see this shit? I'm a spaz." Has been changed to, "Do you see this shit? Hold me back." And this is her statement. She said, "It's been brought to my attention that there is a harmful word in my new song, Girls. Grrrls. That's how you spell it. Let me make one thing clear. I never want to promote derogatory language as a fat black woman in America. I've had many hurtful words used against me, so I understand the power words can have. In parentheses, whether intentionally or, in my case, unintentionally. I'm proud to say there's a new version of Girls with a lyric change. This is the result of me listening and taking action. As an influential artist, I'm dedicated to being part of the change I've been waiting to see in this world. Hugs and kisses, Lizzo." She shared the song last week. People had things to say about it. And it's because of the word spaz. The word spaz. Now, spaz.
What does spaz mean in this day and era?
I saw it was like a racial slur or something like that over there.
So spaz in our slang terms is used to kind of say we're losing control. right?
Yeah, I'm about to black out.
Like you wildin'.
Right.
You
it's like you
wildin',
like you're losing control, right? But spaz is actually short for, I'm looking for, it's like a spastic disorder. It's a disorder. It's like a physical disorder, a mental disorder, some type of. It's kind of like the word retarded.
Okay.
You know? Is it really over there?
Yeah.
It's like saying retarded.
Yes.
But see, okay. See, I kept thinking that it was a racial slur over there. But I mean, I guess because my thing was if she wasn't using it in that way, like in that context, I didn't understand why anyone would have a problem with it.
So this is one of the, I found one of the tweets from this girl named Hannah. She says, "Hey Lizzo, my disability," that that I actually should have just used the word disability earlier. "My disability, cerebral palsy, is literally classified as spastic diplegia, where spastically refers to unintended painful tightness in my legs. Your new song makes me pretty angry and sad. Spaz doesn't mean freaked out or crazy. It's an outside slur. It's 2022. Do better." So I can kind of understand from that point where that's kind of where the term spaz comes from.
I mean, I was gonna say that I didn't understand, but at the same time, if it means something similar to retarded, I can understand how it can be taken out of context. But I think, you know what? I feel like these type of situations, it could have been, the response could have been like, "Hey, Lizzo, did you know that this means X, Y, and Z?" Especially knowing that she's not from the UK or wherever is that. That was the UK, right?
It doesn't say where the girl is from.
But the term, I think it was Europe somewhere where they were, whatever. But
oh no, spastic dysplasia is the name of the her form of cerebral palsy.
I'm talking about the group of people that were upset. They were from Europe, I believe, because it was a slur in Europe. But here, we use it as, people can say spaz on the news, like it's not. I think the response should have been a teaching thing rather than like all of this uproar. My feelings are hurt. You need to apologize. I think it should have been more of a teaching moment than like jumping down her throat, because as we all know, words mean different things, especially in different countries. You get what I'm saying? That's kind of what happened here. So it's like, obviously she didn't mean to offend anybody, but I think telling her about your health issues is a bit far. Like, damn, it's a song.
No, I don't think this her saying, "Hey, my form of cerebral palsy is literally classified as spastic dysplasia," is like too far.
I think that's a lot for her to just be an artist and made a song, and we all know what she meant. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
If it meant something else over there, that's why I said it meant something else over there. These aren't people from America that's saying, "Hey, I'm offended." These were people from Europe saying, "Hey, I'm offended."
People from America as well kind of tweeted things.
When I read the article today, it said it was people that was overseas from
who the
Europe.
hell knew that?
Yeah, and it's I feel like it just could have been a teaching moment. Like, I feel like it's a lot to be on the internet like, "Hey, I have this disorder and I want you to apologize." That's a lot.
But they didn't say apologize. They just said do better.
That was that one tweet.
Now,
I'm talking about all the rest of them.
Now, on that same note, we no longer hear anybody play Black Eyed Peas, "Let's Get Retarded." They actually perform it totally different. They don't even mention that word in the song at all. And this was only...
Say what?
The Black Eyed Peas had a song called Let's Get Retarded.
Well, obviously we know why people are upset about that.
But wait, let me finish. It's the same thing, though. It's the same thing. People had to get upset for them to realize, hey, we're using this word in the wrong way. We shouldn't use it as a form of us having a reaction to something, or a form of us acting a way when there's people labeled as this that act the way we're trying to describe without intentionally trying to do that. They can't help it, you know? Like this girl with cerebral palsy, or anybody with the spastic dysplasia. I could understand how they might get offended if after we've recognized that retarded is a bad word, so it's the same thing, because it's referring to their disability as just a mood. It's referring to their disability as our mood for the moment. So that's why I kind of understand. And I only started looking at things like that when I started comparing a lot of things to just nigger, and how we get mad at white people for saying nigger. Though I don't usually look at it at the same extent as that word, or the same fuck you level, I guess. For the lack of better words, but I can understand it, you know? It's like, so she changed it before. Actually, she pretty much did what the Black Eyed Peas did, except she kept the song out, but just changed the lyrics real quick. This was kind of dope, that she could actually do that shit that fast and then put it out.
Yeah, I definitely think I like the way, I love the way that she responded to it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that a lot of the criticism was a bit far, but I think that her being like a well-rounded artist, she found a solution real quick, and she wasn't prideful about it. So I really appreciated her response to it.
Yeah. And I like how she kind of addressed it and said, you know what? I've been hurt by shit, so I kind of understand where y'all are coming from. I didn't recognize what I was doing or how I said it, so I'm gonna make that change. So I'm not mad at her, you know, but I didn't even recognize that spaz was a term in that type of manner, because I've used it on plenty of times, plenty of moments, you know? Plenty of times where I was just going wild, you know, or I thought somebody else was going wild and I used that as a term, you know? I didn't find out until this shit happened, that this was like in that type of manner. But I get it, so I'll try not to use it in that manner, you know, outside of describing an actual disability. But I get it. Let's go ahead and move it on, though. Oh, also, you know what? Since this is in kind of the entertainment realm, have any of y'all been a fan of or watched Wendy Williams?
Yeah, I watched it.
Yeah, Wendy Williams show.
I here and there back in the day.
You actually used to watch it, Bees? Like a whole episode?
Yeah. I seen I seen the Wendy thing.
Okay. Well, story today came out that said the Wendy Williams show is being canceled after 13 years in syndication. And 13 years in syndication is big. You know, that is big. Syndication means you got stations, anywhere that you're being watched, that channel paid to have you.
Yeah.
You know? And
like he said, we survived 400 years of apartheid, 200 years of slavery, and 25 years of Jefferson's syndication.
I mean, I saw this coming. It's been talked about it for literally 2-3 years now.
Yeah, it's the talks kind of really started when she got sick and was no longer on the air. Like her show was still on because she had a contract, and she was probably sick and said, yo, I got a contract. Y'all leaving my shit on. So they had guest hosts. They had guest hosts and everything.
They have Sherry Shepherd.
They had so many people. Like at one point, Remy Ma and somebody else was hosting. Like they've been.
No, they did not have Remy Ma hosting.
They've been
Wendy.
rotating hosts. Like Remy and Fat Joe hosted a few episodes, I think. And
Fat Joe hosted.
Yeah, they've been getting sit-in like celebrity hosts for.
I mean, that's what's up,
almost 2 years.
But wow.
Yeah, and Wendy? You see, huh?
I said, wow, for Wendy, that's what's up, though.
Yeah, but you see, like, she got sick, and now they're kind of trying to pull one of those, like, Britney things on her. Like, they've, I think it was Wells Fargo, wasn't it? That's not giving her access to her money because they're trying to question her mental.
Okay, I did hear something about that. I read that. I'm not sure how true or false it was. I read it somewhere briefly.
Even though she's been to the doctor
health,
and stuff.
Your health, like, your health, when it comes to stuff like that, like, this is, like, you know what I'm saying? I wish Wendy Williams, you know, the best.
Yeah.
But Wendy did a lot of stuff, yo. And, like there's stuff that we probably don't even know about. And the health karma of some of that, sometimes for some people, just be crazy, yo.
Well, I kind of get what you're saying, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's karma. You know, she didn't kill nobody. She didn't kidnap nobody. All she did was pretty much tell people's gossip. That's what she did, you know? She told people's gossip, which I don't think that's you told somebody's gossip, so now karma's gonna.
She did more than that though, but I think so. She's, like I said, she's having a moment where like they're questioning her mental health. Even though she's going to the doctors have deemed her okay. Like Wells Fargo still has that, like they will not give her control for her money, like over her money. Also, the station was kind of questioning her mental health. And that's why they were having talks about canceling the show like 2-3 years ago. Even before she got sick, because before that, she was having moments on the actual show where she was having moments on the actual show. You remember that whole meme where her eyes was big and shit? Like, she was actually having situations like that on the show. People were questioning her mental health, questioning if she was doing drugs and stuff. And it's like, I mean, it had to come to an end at some point. But it is unfortunate. But I could see B saying that this might be karma because she not only she wasn't just a gossip blogger. She wasn't just like, gossip bloggers are like the shade room where they say things, but they can't really say things because you can get sued for that shit nowadays, right? Wendy, back in the days, used to go after people and do shady shit, like off air, and then come on. Like, can you imagine if something happened? Like, who was it? So Usher getting herpes, right? Let's say when Usher got herpes, he only told one person, and that one person just happened to be cool or whatever. Just say something to Wendy. It's a situation where it's like, okay, don't say anything, whatever. Or Wendy finds out some kind of way, I don't know, and she goes and blasts it for the world to hear. Or do like little, you know, you hear the interviews where people talk about the things that she does. Like, Wendy is known to be very shady, and that's not just the things that come out of her mouth, but her actions as well.
I know she had like an incident with Aaron Hall. She was like, yeah, you know, he's my friend, but he's a bad guy. He sicked all the dogs and beat her up with her own high heel shoes. Yo, none of this happened.
See, I'm not saying she deserved any of this, but I could see you saying, coming from the standpoint of, oh, this might be karma. I can see that.
Yeah, I'm not saying she deserved it, but
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think some of it comes along with this and drugs in the past, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think it all comes together and works together, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah. I can see that. I was hoping she would actually get the show back, honestly.
I thought she was gonna come back though.
She has a really big fan base. She has a huge fan base. I honestly think that they did cancel the show, being that her mental health is still being questioned and the whole money situation as well. And it's only so long that why would you continue the Wendy show and Wendy's not there for 2 years? You get what I'm saying?
That's why I think they're canceling it.
I can see.
No, I know that's why they canceled.
Yeah, that's definitely why they canceled it. But it's just not shocking because it's been 2 years. I was hoping she would get it back though.
Like Tati said earlier, I believe that once somebody says, well, I don't know who said it, but somebody said the contract probably ran out too.
That too. You know
what I'm saying? A lot of those old shows are dying off. Look, I think Maury's done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? There's a couple of others. Isn't Jerry done?
But see, I can imagine the views, like the views going down as well within the last 2 years. Mm-hmm. Y'all got people hosting a show that maybe some of the audience do not know. They probably didn't even know who the fuck Remy Ma was. You know? Not all of them, at least. So it's like you keep rotating guests. It's the views probably went down, and there's no guarantee that Wendy's gonna be able to come back. So I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I think her health is what caused her not being on the show, and her not being on the show is what caused them to say, you know what, there's no sense in keeping this up because you're not there. People aren't watching because you're not there. People watch the Wendy Williams show to see Wendy. You know, right. love her or hate her, people watch it to see Wendy Williams.
Yeah,
how you doing?
You know?
That was, look,
how you
I didn't watch it all the time, but when I watched it, it was, you know, it was messy. It was gossip time. Like, I'm here for, I'm trying to hear.
That's what there's a good
Wendy
word
got
for
to
it.
say.
She messy.
Yes. And I'm here, but you know what I'm saying? I'm here for it. So,
I wasn't a big watcher of her show, but you know what? I knew her catchphrases. You know, I knew what she sounded like. I didn't really watch the show unless I was in New York at my mom's house. It was on.
Yo, I'll tell you like this. I don't like the new Wendy. I like the old Wendy. I like big girl. Ain't nothing wrong with a big strong girl Wendy. That's the Wendy I like. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The boobs and the flat booty Wendy. I don't
get out of here, B. Shut up.
Me personally, I think it was probably stress that really got her health fucked up, yo. In my opinion,
she had a lot going on, bro.
The divorce
too
going on, you know.
She had a lot.
I know she was drinking. She was doing a lot of drinking.
Mm-hmm. That stress is a motherfucker, yo. That shit can start shit that you didn't even know was
there. That shit fuck you up all by itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That alone to kill you. Shit. Fuck the liquor. Stress alone will kill you.
That's why I do my best. I refuse to be stressed. Yo.
Yeah. Yeah, and truthfully, you know what? You could see that. Truthfully, you could see her health declining on the screen. You know?
That shit got bad too.
You can see it. And then that episode where she actually had the moment where I don't know what I still to this day I didn't read enough about it to know what exactly happened. But she had a moment where she damn near she was just out of it.
She had a full blackout. She had a full blackout. She blacked out on her feet.
Yeah, mm-hmm. People were suggesting drugs.
And then
she fainted.
Yeah, I don't know if she was really on drugs or not, but it's still scary. Like all of that stress, and then being that on the flip side, being that she was a person that was messy, Can you imagine the hate and the things and the judgment? You know,
Oh, they turned that whole thing into a dance.
exactly.
In New York,
right?
they
So
turned that whole thing into a Jamaican dance. You
people
know?
can't be tough. She got tough skin, but it affects you at a point. You know, it bothers you at a point.
Let's see what they saying in the chat. Cheryl says, yeah, her
They saying
contract was
divorce
up.
broken.
Her contract was up. Cheryl also says Sherry was the best host.
Okay.
Sherry
I love Sherry. Yeah.
Her contract was up, and they saw her going through the hospitality or hospital. Who knows?
Hospital.
Miss Melanie that says her divorce broke her. I think it was a combination of a bunch of things, y'all.
I think it was everything together.
Yeah. You know. But let's go ahead and move it on, though. Let's go ahead and move it on. You know, celebrities and podcasts. You know, I had actually a brief conversation about this with Tati the other day. We was watching some podcasts, and we was like, yo, this shit is boring as fuck. You know, they had one eye episode, and this shit here is boring as fuck. You know? And I was like, you know what, you're right, yo. But a lot of celebrities are starting to start podcasts just because they know people are gonna watch because of their name.
Because it's them.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Shit. Michelle Obama had a podcast, yo. She had like 1 or 2 episodes and
ain't doing no more.
Ain't been back.
Because they only want to come on when they got some shit to talk about.
You know, ain't been back. There's a lot of celebrities nowadays doing podcasts. And a lot of them don't last. A lot of them either don't get the amount of views that they think they would get from their podcast. Because I've seen some celebrities out there, you know, they might get more views than me, but it's probably not what they expect. You know, they sell millions of records, then they put out a podcast and get like 5,000 views. They be feeling away, yeah. They do a couple episodes, the shit don't pop off like they wanted to. And you don't see them come back with another episode.
I don't think that's the issue because we see the views be in the millions live. I don't think that's the issue. Are we talking
like celebrities in a whole? Like, are we talking like?
Yeah, I'm talking about celebrities in a
all
whole.
Together actors.
Celebrities in a whole that already have a following, right?
I don't think it's a views thing. I think it's more of I'm busy as hell and I don't have the time to sit down and actually film a whole podcast a few times out the week because it is dedication.
Right, it takes dedication.
So a celebrity that's a rapper already, a famous rapper, a comedian that's on Wildin' Out, that's filming other things, other places. I don't think they really have the time to actually sit down and film a whole podcast episode 1 to 2 times a week. I don't think it's about views because again, if you go on the videos, the views are in the millions. The subscribers are in the millions.
Well, that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody.
Yeah. But I'm gonna tell you like this. This is how I see it. With that being said, like how some people podcasts, it don't pop like that. Then you got some people who got following and they shit pop. Okay. Now with that being said, it's like this. Some people you love them just for their craft. Whether they play basketball, whether they an actor, whether they a TV celebrity, whatever. You like them for their craft, right? But the reality of the shit is they may be, when it gets to that realm, now they gotta be their self. You get what I'm saying? They're not playing a character, they're not playing a sport or doing So now you're boring as fuck. Now you're boring as fuck as a person.
I agree.
What the fuck?
I agree with that one. I agree with that one, Bees.
You get what I'm saying?
We actually have to like you for 60 minutes now. You gotta I
have to like you as a person now. Now I gotta like you as a person. I'm not like you as a character or because you got a jump shot or because you spit lyrics. This ain't what you call it.
This ain't your
boring
Twitter page.
as fuck.
Right.
Yeah, you boring
Okay.
as fuck.
I agree with that one.
Right.
I agree with that just because.
And because of that, because they're boring as fuck, that's why their first video might get 100,000 views. But then now they start getting 6,000 views, 5,000 views, and they're like, you know what? People ain't watching my shit up. I'm off to do something else.
I'm following now because the only people that would be watching after the first episode, second episode, would be those followers that really just like anything I'ma watch anything that you do. That's a true fan.
You do, yeah.
People got fans.
You know what I'm saying?
It's a mixture of different types of fans. I like certain people, but I'm not about to follow your whole damn career. I don't give that much of a damn.
Because you like, yo, oh yeah, yo, his songs is hot. This nigga corny as fuck.
Yo, you probably lost me as a fan after watching your podcast.
Right.
You right. Okay.
Now,
I'm with y'all. I'm with you.
So now you get me now,
I'm
right?
with you when
so
you're right.
Now that might be a reason why these celebrities start some shit. And they be like, you know what? If I do this, they're gonna learn my actual personality and they're gonna not fuck with me no more. You know? And they start seeing that because, hey, I could sell 1 million records, but I could only do 2-3 episodes that got views. And now my shit is down to like 6,000. I got 400,000 followers. Why my video only got 10,000 views? And they probably look at the analytics and be like, damn, I got 10,000 views. And most people only watch for 3 minutes.
They probably spend hella money behind it too. And that's probably what it is. It's probably not worth the money.
Because you like this. You sitting there, you like, okay, like damn. This he ain't got nothing to talk about. He just
right.
And you know they always have another celebrity guest.
Listen, but then you can have 2 boring motherfuckers together.
And you can. Y'all not talking about shit because everybody leaning. Everybody on the stage on some lean or some shit. What y'all got going on?
I'll say this. Podcasting, live streaming, it's an art to it. Not everybody can do it. It's not just a regular conversation that you're going to have on the corner with your friends. Yeah. You know? These live stream, these podcasts, the conversation is a little bit different than some corner talk. You know? As unorganized as it seems, there's a little bit of organization to it. There's thought behind it.
Agreed.
I think a lot about what the fuck we gonna talk about. Days at a time. We do this twice a week. After this show, I'm gonna start thinking about what we doing on Friday. A lot of people probably go into this thinking, hey, we can just go on and just start talking and boom. We got a podcast. And that should be boring as hell.
I think, you know what?
1 second. Hey, yo, Wayne, appreciate the super chat, yo.
Right.
I'm sorry, Tati, for cutting you off. Go ahead,
no, you good. My bad. Hold on.
To shout out Wayne, you know what I'm saying?
I think, thank you, Wayne. I think, fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. No, I was going to say, even with organization, like you said, I think it comes down to personality. Some people may like what you and your crew think is some funny shit, ain't really funny when it gets out into the whole world, you know? And then of course, because it's the whole world, you're just speaking freely. People are actually taking some of the things that you're saying literally. So now you're being critiqued.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I agree. It's not easy. And I do think some of these people be boring, even with the celebrity damn host. And you would think as a celebrity, with celebrity hosts, it don't matter what y'all talk about. There's no way we could not tune in. But people's mouths do get them in trouble. And then they be drinking at the same time. Too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drinking heavily.
And everything for
that
everybody.
Contribute too.
And a lot of times they forget it's a podcast and they have an audience and they just start having a regular conversation.
That is true too.
And they forget that, you know, you're saying things that only the people in that room have context to. So y'all are the only ones that really understand what the hell y'all talking about and why it's so funny to y'all. Y'all over here dying laughing, and we're like,
unless you're going to explain it.
Right.
Let us in on the damn joke.
You know, but a lot of times they forget they're on a podcast and they it's like they're having a regular conversation.
Yeah. I've done that a couple of times myself.
You know, podcasting is it's an art to it. It's something like this shit didn't just start off with us kind of like understanding how to communicate on this platform, you know? It took a learning process, you know, and I think to have a successful podcast takes dedication, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these celebrities ain't got the dedication for the podcast game because one, they only in it because they think it's a good look right now. You know, two, it doesn't get the traction that an album gets or some shit like that. And I'm speaking from the musician doing the podcast, but also the first lady, you know, Michelle Obama was like, yo, Spotify had a whole deal with Michelle Obama and her podcast, and she only had a couple episodes, so she was like, fuck this.
Word.
You know? Me personally, I enjoy doing this shit, yo. You know, this is one of the things that I would do for free. You know, like my day job is something I would do for free. And when I say for free, that means if I didn't need to worry about money. You know?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I enjoy this shit. You got to enjoy this shit. You can't do. I don't think this is something you could do because you think, oh, that's cool right now. That can give me a couple of good looks.
Agree. I think that for anything that you choose to put out into the world, especially as big as a podcast, you have to be passionate about it and you have to be dedicated. And, you know, I mean, I definitely agree. Yeah. People are not just gonna follow anybody. I'm gonna say that, like, not, and I don't even mean it like followers, but people watch things that they like with people that they like. That's why I say it's big. It's a really big thing. It's really big on personality. Like, anybody can start a podcast. We're seeing that now. Yeah. And that's why we're seeing clips on the internet. Motherfuckers is canceling niggas and telling them to throw the whole podcast away because niggas is doing it. They're not doing it because they're passionate. Niggas is running after clout.
Right.
And or money. Right. And I can see money, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
I think I'm going to pour another glass of wine too, by the way.
Wrap it up. Wrap it up. Wrap it up.
Shit. But on that note, what's this called, Bees? What's this wine called?
Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon Blanc. Some French shit, huh? Got you. This shit is nice. It's smooth, though, smooth.
I told you was like,
Hey, Mai, appreciate the super chat. Appreciate the super chat. You know, yo, Sean, appreciate the super chat, bro. Word. But yo, man, but yeah, I think a lot of people are starting podcasts now because one, they think it's easy. It's not easy. You know, it takes work, it takes dedication, and you're probably going to be talking to yourself for the first 3 months to a year. You know, for the first 3 months to a year, you're going to be talking to yourself before people start listening. You know, especially if you don't have followers. If you ain't got followers, oh, good luck. Especially today. When podcasts first came around, there was no celebrities really doing it. Podcasts was very different from what they are now. At least the podcasts I listen to, you know? The very first, I remember the very first podcast I listened to. Who can take a guess what the first podcast I listened to was? Or what it was about?
And not have a clue.
Nobody would probably guess. Nobody would probably ever be able to guess. The first podcast I started listening to on a weekly basis was the Lost podcast. And it was a podcast about the TV show Lost. Okay. And they would have a new episode like the day after the TV show aired. And I would listen to it just to see what motherfuckers thought about the show and what their theories were behind the show. And I would listen to this shit while I was at work writing code and shit. And that was the first podcast I listened to. And it wasn't streaming. I actually had to download that shit to my iPod and listen to that shit. I had to download it and listen to it. You know? But podcasts have come a long way. iPod.
So this was, you had to like buy it on iTunes.
No, you didn't have to buy. No? You didn't have to buy it on iTunes. There was well, I had like my iPod was kind of like hacked. I had a hacked version of the iPod.
You had a jailbroken iPod.
Yeah, I had a jailbroken iPod, so I would kind of like download it. So you ain't pay for shit. I would download it from like this app called FPod, but it was free though. It was the podcast itself is free.
Okay.
They was releasing it free. You could download it from I think iTunes might have had it for free, or whatever iTunes was serving their podcast on at the time. You can get it for free at that time. So no, it was cool. It was cool.
That's so.
Yeah, and there wasn't no ads in it neither.
That's dope, cause the podcast we were listening to the other day had hella ads. Like, but you know what? I think that was on Spotify and YouTube. I was gonna say that was just YouTube.
Yeah, no.
The way they get away with it is they build build the on Spotify. They actually, if it's not actual commercials, like it's not from Spotify, it's from the actual podcast. They're doing little commercials for companies. And then on YouTube, it was just hella commercials. And then plus their advertisements.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But you know what? Let's move on. It's starting to get a little late. I do have another topic I wanted to get into. But it kind of relates to this. It kind of relates to the podcast and shit. Well, kind of like social media in general, you know? Did anybody have anything else to add on the celebrities and podcast thing?
Nah.
All right. All right, let's move on then. So I wanted to talk about buying followers and likes. Right? I'll be posting reels. Some of my reels get some good views. Some of my reels don't do shit. You know, but I get a lot of direct messages, DMs. I get a lot of DMs from random people talking about, hey, you can get X amount of followers for this much money. This amount of followers for this much money. This amount of followers for this much money. You can get these followers and these likes for this. And it starts at like $10, you know, so it's not really money. It's money, but it's not a lot of money. You know, it starts at like $10. I was like, you know what? I'm not with it, yo. I'm not with the buying followers and likes. I want to organically try to get followers and likes because I want people that kind of fuck with me to fuck with me. With that being said, hit that like, hit the subscribe if you're not already, you know, and go ahead and follow Khary Crib, you know, on all social media platforms, Khary Crib.
Yo, listen, I can't fuck with a nigga that don't genuinely like me. I can't fuck with a nigga that disliking me because of like what I can do for him, because that always turns out bad.
Yeah, you're right.
Like,
agreed.
It does. But like a nigga that genuinely like me, like.
But you got to remember, this isn't the real world. This is the internet. You know? So there are some pros and cons to buying followers or not buying followers, you know? So would you like to hear some of the pros of why you should buy followers?
Yeah,
So more followers translates to a higher following rate.
Okay.
So if somebody comes to my page and see, or I already have a ton of followers, they're more likely to follow me. You know? But the algorithms, the more followers I got, the more people they'll share my shit to. You know, so there's a higher visibility in your niche.
Right.
You know? Better engagement with Instagram users. The more followers I have, the more people, there's a chance that will interact with my shit. And because more people are interacting with my shit, the algorithm will now share my shit out more. You know? I can fake it till I make it because I have 10,000, 20,000 followers that I bought. I might be able to get some endorsement deals now because it looks like I'm more popping than I actually am. It makes it look like my credibility is bigger, you know? If I buy a bunch of followers, I might be able to say, yo, Instagram, give me a check. Give me a check next to my name. Let them know that I'm official. You know?
I will say with that, Instagram doesn't count those ghost followers because those are just bots. And we see people all the time that they buy their page. Some and that too, like those messages and shit, those be bots.
Mm-hmm.
People trying to scam and hack your page.
Right.
And also those might be real people selling, like people hit me up to sell pages that have 12,000 followers, whatever. But at the end of the day, like those views don't really count because they're bots. And you can tell a fake page from a real page. You get what I'm saying? Like those are the pages you go on, they got 40,000 followers and 24 likes.
Right.
Those are the pages. So no, and when you ask Instagram for verification, they're gonna say hell no.
I've seen that.
Because you have no real audience. Like these are just fake pages.
But you know what? Also, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there could be accounts that do have a lot of followers, but they might have posted something in the past that gets them like shadow banned.
But you could tell those pages from a fake page, from a page where they bought their followers and their audience is mostly like those ghost accounts. You could tell because people interact with those pages. The pages where they buy their followers, they may post something.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is probably gonna see it. And that's been a thing too. I know people that have bought accounts and bought followers.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it shows your page to other people, but when your page is to a bunch of fake ass accounts, nobody's commenting. Your real followers, people that you probably know in real life, they're not seeing it.
Right.
So they're not commenting on it and they're not liking it. You're just having, you got those fake, you know? What's those pages that be like, you want to see my sexy live cam?
Oh man, yo, I get
Let me be your sugar daddy.
Like that every day. I get messages like that every day, yo.
That's on every last post. Those are the pages. And normally you associate that with scamming.
Right.
You know? I agree. I think building organic followers is ideal.
So you would say that buying followers is kind of scammy.
That's definitely a scam, and you're not going to get paid for it. So it was just a waste of your money.
So here goes some of the cons of buying followers and shit like that. It's costly with no return on investment guarantees. So there's no guarantee that you're going to spend and still get something. So that's one. You know, it's potentially damaging to your reputation because now what if people find out, yo, he bought his followers. He got all these followers that he paid for.
Now you
bitch-ass cornball. You know what I'm saying? That's another one. Engagement is not a guarantee that comes with followers, right? And as an example of engagement not being a guarantee, I have about 5,000 followers, right? Subscribers. I have about 5,000 subscribers. A majority of those people don't watch my live streams. You know why? Because they followed me under false pretenses. And the false pretense not being something I purposely tried to do. The false pretense being a lot of them followed me thinking that I was going to do every fucking versus battle. You know, they followed me because I started like live streaming versus battles. I said, you know what? Let me live stream some versus battles. You know what I'm saying? See if I can get some people interested in watching this shit. And I kind of made myself a part of the versus show that I would do. So I tried to like put my personality out there to make people say, you know what? Let me see what else the fuck he gonna do. I had 5,000 people subscribe. I think a lot of those people subscribed thinking I was gonna do versus battles. That's all they was gonna pretty much come see me for was versus battles. He did a fun versus. I'm gonna check it out. And that's it. You know, so those people followed me because they was enjoyed by that. They enjoyed that. A lot of the people watching now probably found out about me from me doing the verses, which is why I did it, because I wanted to find the people that wanted to watch the content that we created. And those are the people I care about. Those are the people I'm making content for. Those are the people I'm doing this for every Tuesday and Friday.
Gotcha.
And Wayne, no, I'm not quitting YouTube. Wayne in the chat said, yo, Khary, I see a lot of people that I follow on YouTube and they quit in the past 2 weeks. I hope you're not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. I don't even know why they quitting. And guess what? I ain't making enough money on here for them to make me not make enough money on here for me to say I'm gonna quit this shit.
Period.
I ain't going out.
You know
like
what I'm saying?
That.
I'm chilling. I'm enjoying myself. I'm having fun. I was actually talking to Tachi the other day about possibly doing a morning show a couple times a week. I might do a morning show. If I do a morning show, y'all are definitely gonna see me out here in my robe. Don't be surprised. I might have coal in my eyes.
Y'all definitely gonna see me doing garbage in the morning.
You know, but out of those people that followed me off of that reason of seeing me on the verses, a lot of them don't watch the live stream, don't watch the streams and shit like that, you know? I'm not mad at it.
Y'all better watch the goddamn stream.
You know, I'm not mad at it because they probably just not really either big on the internet or this isn't the content that they want. I want to find the people that like this content. And I want to find that organically.
I wouldn't say that they don't like the content. I think they probably just, if they were like me and I wanted to watch the versus battle before they had a versus page on YouTube, and I don't know how the fuck to get Instagram on my TV to watch the versus battle, I went to YouTube and I clicked on the first one, or I Googled it and I clicked on the first one that I saw, or the one that didn't look like it had a bunch of people talking. And if they were talking, they shut up at the right times and they were entertaining. That's when I would have watched it. So I think they probably was just looking for the versus battle.
Yeah.
Because at that time, versus did not have a YouTube page. So it was only pages like yours that was streaming the versus battle.
You're right.
So they probably didn't even know about the podcast, even if you said it a couple of times.
I did say it a couple of times on there.
Yeah, but
you know, that was my kind of, you know what, I actually had my own name for that too, what I was doing. I had my own name for what I was doing when I was doing the versus battles.
Mm-hmm.
You know what it was called in my head?
What?
I called that shit bootleg marketing.
I mean,
it was bootleg marketing. That's what I called it. You know, I was marketing Khary's crib as I was presenting the verses. Something you want to see, but I'm gonna let you see it how I want you to see it in my way that was entertaining, but also look good as fuck.
Period.
You know, that was my.
I think you should do the morning show. I most definitely think you should do the morning show.
I think I should.
I think that more views will come. Mm-hmm. You know, that also takes dedication and stuff. Like, you've been very dedicated to posting on other sites as well. And I think like that's also where the dedication and discipline comes from too, being consistent with that. And you've been getting more followers.
Yeah. If I do more show, it's gonna be
just from the clips alone. So I think it's gonna come organically. I think this is part of. Oh, God damn it!
Shit. What you spill over there? Shh. She didn't spill nothing.
You ain't hear that.
She didn't spill nothing.
I think it's gonna come. I think it's
Persian
coming.
rug. Never mind. I'm joking.
I think it's coming. The versus people, them motherfuckers, they drunk ass. They was only coming for the versus battle. So they was like, I'm here for the versus battle. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to this shit else. I just want to vibe and drink. That's it. On my TV. So I'm not mad at that. But they coming.
Yeah, we got some people in the chat. We got people in the Wayne says, yo, let's go. I'm with Khary in the morning. Sean says, yo, Khary in the AM, I'm here for it. Ma says, yo, I'm here for the morning show. More content, more views. Yo, I'm going to start doing some shit in the morning, yo. I don't know when I'm going to do it. I'm going to say I'm going to try to do it tomorrow morning, but I bought a big-ass bottle of wine.
You going to do video? Or is it going to be audio?
I was going to do video. I was going to turn video.
I got a whole different background.
The
morning show going to be one background.
I bought a big-ass bottle of wine.
The evening show going to be a whole nother background.
Y'all going to see Khary with his nasty-ass Dunkin' Donuts. Do y'all, okay.
I get vanilla chai.
And his coffee. But do y'all like Dunkin' Donuts, like legitimately? Do y'all like it, or is it just cheaper than Starbucks?
Yeah, I get a vanilla chai latte, hot, you know?
Tell the truth. Do y'all like Dunkin' Donuts?
Well,
or is it just cheaper than Starbucks?
Well, I will tell you this.
Probably closer than Starbucks.
That coffee cake muffin.
Hold
on, that
at Dunkin'?
That coffee cake muffin. At Dunkin',
I know what you're talking about.
Everything
with the little toffee on top. I feel like everybody has one
with the sugar
like.
crumb, with the sugar.
Yeah.
With the sugar crumbles and all that. Ooh,
I feel like everybody has one thing they like, but Dunkin' Donuts, that shit is thrown together as hell.
Okay, so check it out.
You want to know? You know what's bad about Dunkin' Donuts, though?
Y'all cooking my eggs in the microwave?
They don't make cookies no more. Nah, they don't make cookies no more. I don't eat none of that shit.
Did I just see y'all make my eggs for my breakfast sandwich in the microwave?
Yeah.
If y'all don't get the entire fuck up out of here.
Now, I go to
donuts.
I will say this. I go to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning because it's right down the block. They have a drive-through, and I can get me a vanilla chai latte. It costs me about $5.05. It costs me about $5.05, right?
A donut and a chai?
Now, no, I don't even get the donut. Only donut I really get from there is jelly donuts, and they ain't got enough jelly in that shit. You know, I would describe it, then I would have to say pause. So I'm not even gonna describe it.
Y'all, they donuts be hard as fuck.
They donuts be shitty, yo.
They food is shitty as
hell. I don't get food.
That's the point I'm trying to make. Do y'all really like this shit, or is it just cheap and close?
Check it out. Last week, it was either last week or the week before. Mm-hmm. It was 1 week. I went to Dunkin' in the morning, right?
Okay.
And I dropped my light out. I want to light my blunt. I went to Dunkin' in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I said, yo, let me get a hot, medium, vanilla chai. The dude said, our machine's broke. We can't make no lattes. Anything else you would like? I said, fuck out of here.
Dog.
And I was about to drive home angry.
Listen,
but let me finish, Beast. I was about to drive home angry, right? And then I remembered, wait, there's a Starbucks. Where's the Starbucks? Inside Target. There's a Target right down the block from my crib.
I've been
There's
to
a
that
Starbucks inside there. So I went to Starbucks.
That shit is delicious.
I got me a medium vanilla chai latte. It cost me $5.50, 45 cents more. And I tell you what, it was like 500 times better.
That's why I asked, because Dunkin' is fucking trash. Like, if you tell me you love Dunkin', I know you a fucking liar. I know you fucking lying. These motherfuckers made my eggs in the microwave, and the donuts be stale.
Yeah.
And a little dry, if we being honest. Come on
the
now.
Muffin.
Bees gets the muffin. It be dry. I don't know how we got onto coffee and Starbucks from followers and likes.
Yeah.
I don't know how we got
your morning show. That's
how
we
your morning
got
show.
The morning show.
That's how we got on it.
So we got to the morning show from the followers and likes. And a lot of people in the chat said we should do some morning show shit. They're here for it. I would say what Wayne said, but I'm not feeling the part about the yeah, man. Come on now.
Pita bread sounds good though.
A plant-based sausage. What's wrong with a plant-based sausage on some pita bread?
I'm not repeating another man talking about his sausage.
He's not talking about.
I'm joking.
Y'all
it's
kill me
fun
with this
time,
shit.
y'all. It's fun time, y'all.
Goodbye.
Keith Khary showed me that question.
You know what, Bees? You right.
Keith Hadding told me that joke.
And we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on now. Let's get up out of this one. What's beef? Yeah, remember that song by Big? What's beef? Beef is when your mom can't. You know what I'm saying? What's beef? Beef is when you can't walk down the street with your baby in the stroller. That's beef. Did I rhyme? Did I rhyme just now? Did y'all like that? Did y'all like that?
And now what brought me beef twice?
So what, man? Rappers been doing that for years now. They've been doing that for years. So now I found this video online where I saw my son pasted this shit talk about ban black murder and shit like that, right? Which I agree with, you know what I'm saying? Or boycott black murder, you know, which I agree. I agree with that tagline. But he posted this video, which I then found of a person that was walking down the street. I'm assuming the video started like halfway, right? But I'm assuming that the dude was walking down the street and then his ops saw him walking down the street. But as he was walking down the street, pushing the stroller, right? He was pushing a stroller. And niggas ain't say, yo, he got his kid with him. Let's give him a pass. Let's not violate. These niggas super violated, yo. They super violated, right? And I'm giving you the description the way I'm giving it right now is because I'm setting up a video for y'all to watch, yo. I found this video on.
You remember I showed you this shit? Yo, I told niggas, bro. Look, he's running with the stroller.
So niggas was chasing homie, right? They chasing homie. They running him down. Let me, boom. Boom, boom. Look at him. He running with his pants sagging with the stroller, right? With the stroller. Now I'm showing this to y'all for a reason, right? So they showed him chasing him down. So like, yo, they chasing him down. Look at this. But then y'all saw him chasing the nigga down with a stroller. The video ended with like, yo, they wildin'. They threw the baby in the trash.
Look at this, yo.
They threw the baby in the trash.
Threw the nigga baby in the garbage.
Yo, they threw the baby in the trash, yo.
That's
violation. Violation. Put the niggas in jail. Send shots to them niggas.
Jail.
Definitely going to jail. I don't know what the fuck. Like, and see, this be my problem. Like, this be the reason, right? This be the reason why people say that blacks in America don't have culture. We don't have moral code. You get what I'm saying? Like, when you study some of these religions and shit, it's not perfect, but they have a moral code. You get what I'm saying? You would think that this is a moral code. Americans do not have that. This is why we see shit like this. Other countries laugh at us, literally. because this type of shit happens. You know, mass shootings, school shootings, that'll be happening. Now, there are worse things that happen in other countries. I will say that. But they don't, for the majority, they don't have situations like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, this shit is disgusting. Not my baby. Not my fucking baby, y'all. Hell no.
Disgusting.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
To see you run from somebody with your baby, like running through the streets with a stroller.
Now,
where's the mother?
Bees. Go ahead, Bees.
I'm gonna be so patient with the shit that I'm gonna make sure that I catch everybody in the group. Everybody in the group. Everybody in the group. Like everybody's gonna get it one time. Because you're not gonna warn somebody else. No. Everybody goes. Everybody goes. Listen, I'm finding street grenades. There's gonna be some shit. This is taking
on site to another level, yo. This is taking on site to another level.
Yo, now, like that is violation.
I remember being young, being dumb. I remember having beef, you know? And if I saw my ops walking down the street with the stroller, nah, Bees. We probably would have fucked with them. We would have fucked with them. But we wouldn't have beat him up. We wouldn't have harmed him. We would have gave him a pass. We would have fucked with him in the way of, yo, this nigga's running down the block. This nigga's running down the block. We would have
antagonized him.
Right.
We antagonized him.
He's running down the block with the stroller. This is mad funny. This is funny. But we're not going to jump out and beat the nigga up and then throw the baby in the trash. That is violation to the next level, yo.
And see.
You know, that's violation to the next level. Like, I come from the era of, what's the song on Biggie's album? Life After Death. With Big
Things Done Change.
No. I'm talking about Life After Death album. Where Big tells the ill story, right? And at the end of the story, he talks about, yo, I see the nigga chilling on the block. I run out. I run up and I dump on the nigga. Bam, 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 bam. But when the nigga turned around, he was holding his daughter. Like, I think all of us, when we heard that song, where he was like, oh shit, that's an ill ending, yo. That's a fucked up ending, yo. And that's I think that type of shit made niggas from our generation say, yo, niggas got to be careful when they doing some grimy shit, if they're gonna do grimy shit. Niggas didn't want to be extra grimy on purpose, in my opinion. Though there are people that do wild shit to kids. I think overall in the beef situation, people don't want to do wild shit to kids. And for niggas to do some shit like this, put a baby in the garbage, we ain't even supposed to touch the child, man. As much as I would love to say stop the violence, it would be hard for me to tell a man, yo, stop the violence after they pulled your baby out the stroller, put him in the garbage, and filmed it for social media.
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you stop the violence all day, but I would understand if you just disregarded everything I said. That shit is crazy. I hope the police catch him before some crazy nigga, not even crazy, just a nigga like me that will kill him.
Bro, that shit is cowardly, yo. That's some
bitch ass shit.
Yeah, that's bitch ass nigga. Like, yo, fam, and this is the thing that's so crazy. Like this, the new criminals,
bitch ass niggas a lot of times.
The new criminals, the rules is all discombobulated, yo. A nigga snitch, y'all give niggas parties to come home.
Yeah, but you know what? But check it out.
It's
Here goes. here goes one of the. There's a whole bunch of comments on this thing, right? You know, one comment says, "Yo, they clowns for that." Another comment says, "Yo, this how your whole family get hurt." But you know what comment stood out to me the most?
Which one?
The comment that said, his baby moms ain't never letting him get his kid again.
And would never. And would never. Supervise motherfucker.
He don't even,
visits.
that's the last time he's seen his son. That's probably the last time he's gonna see his son.
Yeah, you're not seeing your son again, yo. You guys,
he's gotta kill somebody.
Yo.
I'm sorry, like I hate to say it, he's gotta kill somebody. Like, that's fucked up. He's gotta kill somebody.
Like, and you know what? And see, if a nigga ever told me that story, because you remember we had a conversation the other day, Khary, about niggas saying like, oh, well, this is my situation. If a nigga ever told me that story, like, well, shit, I would not blame her. I would not fucking blame her.
Yeah.
Ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
Nah. No.
Yeah. And well, me and Tati we had some topic. We was talking about something about having kids and dating or some shit like that. And if somebody couldn't see their kids, that's a situation where a father would be able to see their kids and definitely would understand.
Hell yeah.
Yo,
you told me
totally
that story. Well, goddamn it.
Totally.
I don't know if I want to be with you. You got niggas chasing you with your kid. They not gonna give a fuck about me.
Yeah.
Hell no. Nope.
Yo. And then it's like this too. Hold up. But you gotta think about it like this too. Because we gotta ask yourself this question, because there's always two sides of the story.
Hey, you know
that
what?
That is true, but if you tell me right off back, what did he do? Chasing
what did he do that my ops
No, it don't matter. It really don't. It really don't. For me personally, it don't matter, yo.
Nah, it doesn't. But I'm just saying.
No, but some people it do. It don't matter. For some people, for me, it don't matter. But for some other people, it don't matter. It don't matter who he with. You know? Like there's some people that's like, yo, I'm shooting whoever's out there. It don't matter who's out there. Kids, old people, this, that, blah, 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 you know? That's just some people. My morals ain't built like that, you know? I ain't a killer, but don't push me. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite Tupac lines. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. You know, that's one of the illest lines, yo. Hip hop. Totally different topic. We'll make that a topic one day. What's some of the best lines in hip hop? We'll make that a topic. But nah, yo. Yeah, she's definitely not giving him his kid back. You know, he definitely got to go out and do something. The only way he's gonna get his child back, the next time he's gonna be able to see that child is when that child is 25. No, is when that child is 25. No, is when that child is 25. And he's just getting out of jail from doing his 25 to life for killing the niggas that threw his baby in the trash. That's the next time he's going to be able to see that child, yo.
That's fucking terrible, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I don't think he's going to get 25.
Yeah, I think the judge would be like, you know what? I feel you, yo. Because I would have hired some niggas to do that shit. Nigga, I would have hired you.
You ain't got that
type
of money.
The judge would have been like,
got that type of money.
Right, the judge would have been like, you know what? I would have hired you to do this shit for me. Yeah.
That's terrible.
Oh, man.
That is terrible. I could never imagine no shit like that happening. Like,
yeah.
And you know what? That's why I be picky. Like with people, you gotta be picky with the people that you hang around, the people that you date. You get what I'm saying nowadays? Because you don't know who hang with who, and you don't know who the fuck got beef with who. Nowadays, niggas, like you said, don't give a fuck. They will. There's been a shooting here in Tampa, like on a very popular main street in broad daylight.
Mm-hmm.
Person shot up a lady and her daughter and mistake the car for another car, thinking it was they ops.
And that's kind of like,
you get what I'm saying?
And that's one of the reasons I don't have a lot of friends.
That shit.
And it's because the people I'm like, I could fuck with you, are the type of people that be having beef. I'm like, you know what? I could fuck with you, but you got too much beef that I don't even know about. I don't want to be hanging. I don't want to be hanging with you, and now I'm in some fucking beef, and niggas just shooting at us, and I don't even know why. And now I gotta fucking risk my freedom to protect the both of us over some beef you got over some dumb shit. It'd be some shit like that nigga was fucking my ex-girlfriend. What you mean he was fucking your ex-girlfriend? Yeah, me and my girlfriend broke up and he was like the second boyfriend after me. And I don't like that nigga. Like, what? This is why y'all are trying to kill each other? And this is why I don't have a lot of friends. This is why I don't have no new friends other than my niggas from 5.
I will say you do have to be careful.
I'm definitely not. I ain't into getting
one of the
into
reasons.
it.
One of the reasons.
I will say. Say it again, Beast.
I ain't into that. Like getting into it over no chick and all that wild. So now, if you violate me as a person, nigga, just understand this.
Yeah.
It's because you violated me as a person. It has nothing to do with the female. I just made niggas like, you know, right. Understand, like, I'm not, that's not, it's not what I do. It's not.
Right. Like, I cut off a nigga recently, and he probably thinks it's because of a girl. It's like, no, nigga, it's because of your actions. It's because of the way you operate. You know?
Man.
I can't fuck with you. And so I know exactly what you mean, Beast. You know?
Well, yeah, once you do that, I feel like this. Your handshake ain't matching the smile.
Right.
Feel me?
Right. You know?
I feel like you definitely have to be careful
who
you dealing with.
Yep.
Now, I will say, because I definitely was a person that was like, oh, no new friends, right? I had a lot of associates, a lot of people I know, a lot of people I could probably hang out with, but they weren't close friends. Like, they probably don't know where I live type shit. They ain't met my daughter type shit, because that's shit that, like, nah. You know? So I think that you definitely got to be careful. But at the same time, one of my best friends right now is somebody that I probably met under 2 years ago. And that shit happened organically.
Okay.
And that shit is, you know, I feel like
I mean, when
you
it's
just got to know who you dealing with, too.
I'm not saying you can't have, like no new friends and whatnot. Like, when you dealing with it, like, genuinely, some shit fall in your lap genuinely. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a homeboy. You know what I'm saying? I probably known them about 2, 3 years. And like, yo, like, that's my nigga. Like,
Hey, yo, Wayne,
you know
appreciate the super chat. Yeah. See,
that's why I was. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I base people off their action. Like, there's been a few people out here that I've been cool with. I was like, oh, yo, you know what I'm saying? We cool and shit. You know what I'm saying? We have good conversations. You know what I'm saying? We could talk, whatever, blah 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 blah. You know what I'm saying? Man, shit. You know what I'm saying? But then I hang out and I'm like, damn, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I like pussy, but I don't like pussy like you like pussy, nigga. Like, your whole night is dedicated to finding pussy. That's not me. You know, and I'm like, I just don't move like that, so I really can't fuck with you. Now, when I was 15, 16, 20, something like that, maybe, you know, maybe I was on the prowl like that, but now I can't fuck with you like that.
Not even.
You know?
Not even.
Definitely got to be careful. People are scary nowadays. Like, spouses are killing spouses.
Back in the days,
like, people got
make sure some females.
What'd you say, Beast?
Oh, and Wayne, appreciate that super chat.
What's you say?
That Beast said back in the days.
Back in the days, Beast, make sure some females around. It's gonna be a crew or something. Somebody wanna hang out.
Man. Shit, but let's move it on though. We'll get ready to wrap it up. You know what I'm saying? Jump into our open mic. We got anything special for open mic tonight? Let me see. Do I got anything else that I wanted to cover. I did have one thing I wanted to talk about. This is kind of like a segment I wanted to start having, you know what I'm saying, maybe once a week, like maybe like on a Tuesday or something, you know. I wanted to have like this meme of the week. Or maybe we should do it on a Friday, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know we all see mad memes over the weeks. I wanted to have like a meme battle, you know what I'm saying? Like, we each present our what we thought might be the most funniest or engaging meme of the week, you know what I'm saying? And let the chat vote which one is better towards the end of the show, you know what I'm saying? It's one of the things I want to start throwing in, doing something a little different and shit. Like, for example, here goes one from the No Context Dr. Umar page I found, you know, where there was an ad for ginger. But whoever came up with this was not did not take diversity training. And somebody threw Dr. Umar face next to it, like, what am I looking at? Which I agree, because I'm looking at I looked at this initially like, what the fuck is this shit? I had to look at it like, what is this? Until I zoomed in and saw ginger down here in the corner. And I was like, are those the lettuce and ginger? I'm like, oh shit, ginger also you can spell nigga? Oh shit, did not know that until now. But
I can't. I can't.
That's something I saw. So I was like, that was my meme of the week example, you know. But I thought we could start doing something like that, you know. It could be like something we saw on Instagram or some shit like that, or Twitter or something.
Period.
I just thought it'd be entertaining, you know.
Yeah.
Thought it'd be something entertaining. Let me see what else I got for open mic real quick that I might wanted to cover. Let me see. What's that?
I wanted to talk about Karl Malone.
Karl Malone. What about Karl Malone?
In the 13-year-old.
That's an old story. That's an old story.
Impregnated.
That's an old story.
What happened?
So,
my bad. I see.
Supposedly, Karl Malone impregnated a 13-year-old back in the days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, let's see. When he was a 20-year-old college student, he supposedly impregnated a 13-year-old girl. And they kind of said the NBA and other people kind of swept that underneath the rug type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
And they say he also impregnated another girl that was 17. He never made any attempts to enter the kid's life. This is what they say. I don't know how true this stuff is, but this is kind of one of the stories that's going around. But people have known for years, but just haven't really spoke about it until kind of now, I guess.
That's wild.
You know? I haven't dug into it too deep. I've seen some of the stories behind it, though. Like, not the story. I've read some headlines, heard some remarks about it. And maybe we'll talk about that next maybe Friday or Tuesday. Probably next Tuesday. Probably a good Tuesday topic, maybe. I'll look into it.
Yellowstone.
I'll look into it, see some of the validity of it. You know what I'm saying? See if it's something good or not. What about Yellowstone? You talk about Yellowstone flooding? Yeah, I saw that as well.
That's
Yellowstone Park is flooding.
Really?
Dozens evacuated as unprecedented flooding forces Yellowstone National Park to close all entrances.
Wow.
I actually saw a video today where a house or some type of structure, I'm not sure if it was somebody's crib, but it's a park. But some type of structure it was a building. It was a house built near the water. That shit got washed away. It got washed away. Yeah, so that was a little wild. I'm not sure what caused the flooding. Was it rains? Was it something?
I think so.
See, a Montana helicopter. We haven't rescued anyone. Blah blah blah. Okay. The abundant rainfall and rapid snow melt combined to produce up to 3/4 of a foot of water runoff, which is similar to the area receiving 2 to 3 months of June precipitation in only 3 days. That's what they say caused it, you know? Conspiracy theorists will come up with some other ideas and some wild out there type of explanations.
They try to blow up the park.
Right. This is the explanation the news is telling us, you know? But what did Donald Trump call it? The news media? What did he call it? What was it called? What was his phrase?
I forgot his phrase.
I forget his phrase.
Something they ain't tell the truth though.
Oh, the mainstream media. That was his phrase. That was the mainstream media will have you believe it's rapid snow melt and rainfall. How does rain and snow all of a sudden cause water? Science, nigga. That's how. But now I'm just saying, there's be some conspiracy.
Time out. He said, "How does rain and snow?"
I believe he would genuinely not know that shit, though. I believe it.
You know, I was just saying. I don't know.
Yeah, stupid.
So I was gonna say that it looks like it's time to say goodbye to Internet Explorer. So as of Wednesday, Microsoft will no longer be supporting the once dominant browser that faded away as users found faster, less crash-prone alternative. And you know what? I agree, because Internet Explorer is just, it's virus. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. We don't need it.
Now, just because...
So does that mean we're not going to have the icon anymore?
No, you're not
going to disappear.
Now this is what's happening. So, Internet Explorer, they stopped developing Internet Explorer along some years back, right? And they have a new browser now called Microsoft Edge. So it's what's taken over, and Microsoft Edge is based off of Chromium, which Chromium is what Google Chrome is based off of. So they both kind of now use the same guts of the browser and then built stuff on top of it.
Okay.
The good thing about that is Internet Explorer kind of actually Internet Explorer was built off of Explorer, where if you're a Windows user, if you open up Windows and you just want to like open up Explorer is pretty much the file navigation on Windows. The file navigation on Windows is Explorer. You know, they use that as the base framework of Internet Explorer. You know, kind of did the same thing, to where they started, and then they made that their internet browser. Internet Explorer used to do a lot of things that wasn't standard for the internet. They did a lot of things the way they wanted it to do, the way they thought it should be. There's a World Wide Web Consortium called WWW3, the World Wide Web Consortium, which kind of makes the rules for like how browsers should interpret things and stuff. Internet Explorer would look at that, say, okay, we see what that is, but this is how we interpret it and we want it to be, which made it a bad browser because everybody else built shit for the standards, but Internet Explorer didn't necessarily follow those standards. They created their own, which nobody else gave a fuck about. So now they have Edge, which now saying, okay, we're going to follow these standards, which makes it a better browser because now, one, which makes it a better browser for people like me that's a programmer for the web, because now I can code something for Chrome and I know it works in Firefox because Firefox works very similarly to Chrome. They all follow the same standards. And now Edge follows the same standards as these. I used to have to code things for Chrome and then code things individually for Internet Explorer because a lot of corporate companies would only allow Internet Explorer to be on their computers. You know? So I'm glad they're getting rid of that shit. That's dope. They stopped fucking building it years ago. I just hope they don't start doing bullshit with their new shit. You know? I probably went mad deep that I probably shouldn't have gone, huh? That's probably just a quick blur.
No, I'm sure we learned something. The audience learned something.
Okay.
I like Chrome and Safari. So I don't give a damn about
I rocks with
Explorer.
Chrome. Chrome is my default browser on my computer and my phone.
Mm-hmm.
You know. Anything else? Anything else we got for the open mic before we wrap it up?
That was it for me.
Oh, last thing before we get out of here, a story I saw today. I'm not going to get into all the details, but a family sues Houston Hospital for giving a 4-year-old a vasectomy. And on that note, we are getting up out of here.
Oh, they clipped his nuts. That's right. I forgot about that.
Mm.
Yo, so there's one thing about this, right, though?
Mm-hmm.
Chicks better find out who his boy is, because when he gets older, don't run up in his mama house talking about, oh, he got me pregnant. No,
Man,
this boy been neutered.
Shut
Boy
up.
been neutered since 4.
I mean, vasectomies are you can reverse a vasectomy.
They're reversible.
Yeah, so there's a chance he'll be able to have kids.
Yes,
but it's just crazy.
But you know what? They are about to get paid. They are about to get paid. It's like, wait up, hold up. Okay, first off,
you stopped the legacy.
I want to know what this little kid. I want to know what this little kid was trying to lift. I want to know what this little kid was trying to lift, because
hernia.
That's why he went to the hospital. That's why he had a procedure done, because he had a hernia. You know. But now my question is, doctor, repairing a hernia and a vasectomy. I'm no surgeon. I didn't go to college for no doctor shit, no medical nothing. But I just feel like hernia and vasectomy are like two different parts.
Wrap it up.
And I'm not sure how.
Listen.
Wait, I'm not.
Depends on where the hernia was.
Well, hernia is repairing something. Hernia is repairing.
That is true.
Right? So I imagine repairing as like, let me sew some shit up. Right? Vasectomy is cutting some shit.
Is that how that is?
You snip and you probably show up the snip.
Nah, he right. You
know?
They might have to do that for a hernia too.
Okay, well,
but
that's why I said it depends on where the hernia was, because he might have been in the same area. It's no excuse.
He could have had a herniated nuts.
That nigga probably just did 3 vasectomies that day. Goddamn, give him a break.
He could have had a hernia in his navel. He could have had a hernia in his buttocks. Like, it's crazy.
A fucking 4-year-old though is
a 4-year-old, right? That's what I'm saying. How do you snip a 4-year-old? Like, hey, let's get his 4-year-old a vasectomy. How do you do that?
I'm
not laughing. Like, it ain't funny, but it's funny.
Like, maybe they should do. Maybe they
they about to get paid.
Did you see that here in Florida they just passed a bill or something where doctors that perform BBLs can only perform a maximum of 3 a day, and that was to get rid of like, you know, like the complications and things being done wrong. Like, can you imagine if you're a doctor or a surgeon and you're just performing surgeries have we thought about that?
So
is that why people get fucked up? They doctor.
They might be. It might be.
They doctored and performed hella surgeries that day.
It might be.
They get tired.
That's the BBL. The BBL is the Brazilian butt lift.
That's the Brazilian butt lift. Yeah.
Yeah, making the booty pop, 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 pop.
They just passed that bill here in Florida, and it's like, well, shit. When you think about it, all doctors must get tired. They're working like around the clock. And imagine you're doing surgery after surgery after surgery. It's no excuse, but it's like, God damn.
Right.
For you to make an excuse like this, like, do you need time out?
Yeah.
You need to go sit your ass down somewhere.
No, totally different topic.
Yeah. Somebody said you couldn't see this a 4-year-old?
A 4-year-old.
Right, exactly. And that's what that was one of my arguments. Like, how are you snipping the 4-year-old? It's not a cat.
Fucking 4-year-old.
It's not a fucking cat.
You need to go to sleep, sir.
You know? You know?
Shit.
But it's like, but that's one of the things which you kind of mentioned was like doctors being sleepy.
Edward.
Doctors being sleepy, right?
Shut
Like,
up, bees.
just thinking like major cities, with like super busy hospitals where they're like doctors in the ER that every time they think, you know what, okay, I'm getting ready to get up out of here, a new patient comes in they have to see. You know? It's like, I'm getting ready to get up out of here. This doc, oh wait, oh shit, there's a new patient. Let me check this. Let me make sure this patient's alive.
Yeah.
And a lot of times a doctor starts it, the doctor wants to start it and finish it. He doesn't want to start it and then hand it off.
And that's why they ask you.
Right.
You may come in, fill out a paper, tell the nurse was wrong, tell the receptionist was wrong, tell the doctor was wrong. Then they're going to come in and ask you again.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because they ass be forgetting.
Miss Melanator says, the vas deferens are tubes that carry the sperm. They descend through the same hole that has the hernia.
So he was in the same area.
But you should still be able to. If you a doctor, you should be able to tell. You got big ass motherfucking magnifying glasses or magnifying cameras, you know?
Yeah, I think he may have needed some rest or some time off because that is a big mistake to have made. Like, you know, even being in the same area, you know, that's what leads me to believe that he just had a busy ass day and probably was tired. Here go
another set of nuts to make stop working.
Oh man, he's with the Patriots. Oh shit. He's with the Patriots.
Yo, Sean, I feel you, yo. Sean says, yo, you can't be no B- doctor. Facts, yo. You know what? I don't want to see your degrees on the wall no more. Show me your fucking report cards, nigga.
I would like to know what the consequences.
Show me your report cards. I don't want to see your degrees. Show me your report cards. If you're a doctor.
Niggas got Dr. Giggles out there.
Oh, man. Yo, little homie. There was a little homie out here not too long ago, not too many years ago, that had his
his fake practice.
He had the whole practice. This nigga never went to school. He just started a practice, yo. He said, yo, I'm doing this. I said, I'm going to do it. Fuck having the money for medical school. I'm a doctor, motherfucker. Hey, I ain't mad at you know? But shit, man, let's get ready to get up out of here, though. You know, the chat says, yo, I should start doing some shit in the mornings. I think I will. I'm not sure if I'm going to start tomorrow morning because this bottle's almost gone and I might be gone in the morning. I was up real early this morning. I had some early morning meetings. I was on meetings like 7:30-ish this morning. So, you know, I just had a long day. Maybe not tomorrow, but
hit me up.
But you know what? If you do want to check it out, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification shit, you know what I'm saying? So when I do go live early in the morning, you see it, you know? But you know what?
Bees in the morning is totally different.
You know, we're going to get ready to get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I'm definitely going to hit you up, B. I'm going to let you know when we do that, yo. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get up out of here. So may the rest of your week be great. Do your best to stay sucker free. Keep a smile on your face, baby. See you Friday. Peace out.
Thanks for watching the dopest live stream that's something like a podcast, something like a newscast, and sometimes like a showcase. Khary's crib. 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 watching the dopest live stream that's something like a podcast, something like a newscast, and sometimes like a showcase. Khary's crib, 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 Khary's crib.